Hello, and thank you for watching our video on Webex Calling. To access the administrative interface for Webex Calling, you'll open your browser and enter admin.webex.com. When prompted, enter your email address and password to access the Webex Control Hub. The administrative interface, Webex Control Hub, is where all configuration management and reporting for Webex Calling starts. On the right side is where any news or announcements about Webex Calling are displayed for the administrator. On the left side are the different sections of Control Hub to configure, manage, and report on Webex Calling. The center section is where information about the system is displayed. The first option on the right side is the overview. This gives the administrator a quick glance at the system licensing and utilization. It also shows any configured services and their status. The next option in the Control Hub is the Users section. This is where all the configured users for the system are represented. To manage the users, click on the Manage Users icon in the upper right corner. The users can be entered manually, imported via CSV file, or integrated into Active Directory. This deployment is integrated into Active Directory. Once the users are created in the system, you can see their status displayed, and when you click on the users, their configuration is presented. This will show you the services the end user is configured for and the status of those services. To enable a service for an end user, click on the Edit icon to the right of the Services label. This will take you to the Service Enablement screen. To activate the Webex Calling service, click the box beside Calling and click Save. This will activate the Webex Calling service for the end user. Once the service is active, you will see the Webex Calling Enterprise link beside the Calling label in the end user's profile. If you click on this link, the end user's calling settings will be displayed. To edit these settings, click on the Edit link on the page. This will launch a new browser window into the Cisco Admin Portal. In the Cisco Admin Portal, the end user configuration page will populate. In the Cisco Admin Portal user information page, you will see the user's settings and can modify the user's configuration. You can see the user's assigned phone numbers and extension, the user's voicemail settings, the call forward settings, the devices assigned to the user, and any mobile or PC applications assigned to the user. In the advanced configuration settings, you will see the calling permissions for the user, their hoteling settings, their shared line settings, call monitoring settings, privacy settings, barge-in settings, and push-to-talk settings. We'll go into these features later in the demo. Next, we will look at the Places section of Control Hub. The Places section is similar to the Users section, but is used for devices that are not specifically assigned to a user. Just like in the Users section, if you click on the place, the calling settings will be displayed. If you click on the Webex Calling link, it will display the device phone number and extension. By clicking on the Edit link, a new browser window will open and launch the Cisco Admin Portal just like in the Users section. In the Cisco Admin Portal, you will have all the same settings presented as in the User Portal. The next section we will demo is the Services section. This is where we configure and monitor the various services related to Webex Calling solution. The services are messaging for the Webex Team application, the meeting service for Cisco Webex Meetings, the call service for Webex Calling, the care service for customer care, and the hybrid services for calendaring and other hybrid services. In this demo, we will only be discussing the call service. In the call service, there are 4 options: numbers, locations, features, and orders. The client settings option is for lab purposes only. We will start with the numbers option. The numbers option is where the customer's direct inward dial or DID numbers are input into the system for assignment to end users and system features. Each location is given its own set of DID numbers, and internal extensions are assigned to the DID numbers. Locations are used to group users and gateways for call routing purposes. Each user and gateway is assigned to a location when they are created. The features option is where all the system calling features are configured. These features include auto attendance, call park, call pickup, call queue, hunt groups, paging groups, and receptionist clients. By clicking on the 3 dots in each feature, you can either edit or delete the feature. Features, just like users, are assigned to specific locations so each location can have a unique feature. The orders option is used to track the service and feature requests from the control hub into the admin portal. This can be used to see if a specific feature was created in the admin portal before trying to configure it. The devices section is used to add, delete, and track phones and video endpoints created in Webex Calling. Each device will show its status and whom the device belongs to. The owner could either be a place or an end user. When you click on the device, its details will be displayed along with management options like reboot and delete. If you click the Manage link, you'll be taken to the user information page in the admin portal. In this section of the demo, we will be showing you the end user self-care interface. This interface allows the end users to control many aspects of the solution to offload some of the administrative tasks from the admin staff. To access the end user self-care portal, open a browser and enter https://settings.webex.com. When prompted, enter the user's email address and password. Once the page loads, there is a link on the menu called Webex Calling. Click that to access the end user Webex Calling interface. On the left side of the page are the sections the user can use to control their communication settings. These are voicemail, call history, call settings, directory, and my apps. The voicemail section is used to control the end user's voice mailbox behavior and to manage their voice mailbox messages. The voicemail settings box allows the user to control the behavior of their voice mailbox. They can even set up the mailbox to forward the voicemail messages to their email. The call history section can be used to view the end user's incoming, outgoing, and missed calls. The call settings section is where the end user can control the behavior of their phone or PC app. The settings presented here are the ones enabled by the administrator in the administrator interface for the user. Notice these are the same options given to the administrator on the administrator interface. The Director section gives the end users access to both a corporate and personal contacts directory. End users can search the directories for a specific user and place a call via their phone or PC app from this interface. The end users can also create a personal contacts directory if they desire. My Apps section can be used by the end user to install the desktop software or retrieve the links for the mobile apps for iOS or Android. If the end user is configured as a receptionist, they will also have access to the receptionist browser link in this section. In this section, we will be demonstrating the setup and operation of the Webex Calling call queuing feature. First, we will show you how the call queue is configured. To save time, the call queue has already been configured. In Control Hub, we go to the Services section and click on the Features option of the call service. We then click on the three dots on the HQ Sales Call Queue and click Edit. This will open a new browser tab and launch the Cisco Admin Portal and take us to the call queue configuration for the HQ Sales queue. In the Cisco Admin Portal, we can edit the configuration of the HQ Sales call queue for things like call forwarding, the language used in the portal. The queue settings is where we can control things like how many calls can be in the queue and the announcements played to the callers. Call routing is where we tell the system how we want the calls to be presented to the agents. In the agent option, we select the agents that will service the queue. And lastly, the reports option is for running reports. Now that we have the call queue configured, let's see how it works. We have 3 agent phones set up in a most idle configuration. This means the incoming queued calls should route from one phone to the next based on how long they have been idle. As you can see, the first incoming call is presented to the phone on the right. When we launch another incoming call, the next incoming call is presented to the phone in the middle. And lastly, the third call is presented to the phone on the left. The next feature we will demonstrate is the Call Park feature. Call Park allows users to temporarily place a call on hold in the system so another user can retrieve the call from another device. As before, we go to the Services section to configure this service. In the Call Service section, we will click on Features. In the call service features, we already have the call park feature configured, so let's click on the 3 dots and then click on Edit to see how it is configured. In the call park configuration page, we can see things like how the call is recalled back if no one picks up the call. You can see what users are assigned to the call park feature. As we said before, call features are assigned to specific locations, so each location can have a unique call park group. Now that we have the call park configured, let's see how it works. We have 2 phones set up in the same call park location and feature. We will place a call into the phone on the right and park the call on its extension. This does not tie up the user's extension. This is just a number so the other user can retrieve the parked call. The user wanting to park the call simply presses the soft key with the three dots above it to scroll to the Park soft key. We press the Park soft key, then enter the extension they want to park the call on, followed by the pound. Typically, this would be their own extension. In this case, we will park the call to 1082 pound. The user will get a message saying the call was parked to that extension.
Your call has been parked. Thank you.
The user wanting to retrieve the parked call simply presses the soft key with the three dots above it to scroll to the unparked soft key. The user will be presented with dial tone to enter the extension the call was parked against. In this case, we will enter 1082 pound. As you can see, the call is then connected to the user's phone. The next feature we will demo is the call pickup feature. Call pickup allows a user to answer another user's ringing phone from their own phone. There are two options to call pickup: group call pickup and directed call pickup. With group call pickup, the user wanting to answer the ringing phone doesn't need to know which phone is ringing in the group. With directed call pickup, the user does need to know which user's phone is ringing. As before, we go to the Services section to configure the service. In the Call service, we click on Features. In the Call service features, we already have the Call Pickup feature configured, so let's click on the three dots and then click Edit to see how it is configured. In the Call Pickup feature, we are only required to input a name for the feature and select which users will be in the Call Pickup group. Users can only pick up calls from other users in their group. Here is where we select which users will be in the Call Pickup group. Now that we have the Call Pickup feature configured, let's see how it works. We have three phones set up in the same Call Pickup location and feature. We will place a call into the phone on the right and pick up the call on the phone in the middle. First, let's see how the Group Pickup feature works. To answer the ringing phone, the user presses the soft key with the three dots above it to scroll to the Group Pickup soft key. By pressing the Group Pickup soft key, the phone on the right will stop ringing and the call will be connected to the phone in the middle. Now let's see how directed call pickup works. To answer the ringing phone, the user presses the soft key with the three dots above it to scroll to the Pickup soft key. When they press the Pickup soft key, they will be presented with dial tone. The user then enters the extension of the phone they want to answer, in this case 1082 pound. The phone on the right will stop ringing and the call will be connected to the phone in the middle. The next feature we will demo is the Hunt Group feature. The Hunt Group feature allows us to distribute calls to a group of phones in a variety of methods. As before, we go to the Services section to configure the service. In the Call section, we click on the Features. In the Call Service feature, we already have the Hunt Group feature configured, so let's click on the three dots and then click on Edit to see how it's configured. In the Hunt Group feature, there are several options. In the Incoming Call section, we have the Hunt Group name, the extension for the Hunt Group, the caller ID for the Hunt Group, the call forward settings. We can also set the language to be used for the hunt group. The call routing section allows us to control how we are going to distribute the calls to the phones in the hunt group. This is similar to the call routing settings in the call queuing section. The main difference is the calls are not queued in the hunt group like they are in the queue. The phones section is where we designate which phones will be in the hunt group. Now that we have the hunt group features configured, let's see how it works. We have 3 phones set up in the same hunt group location and feature. We have the hunt group set up in a all-at-once configuration. When we place a call into the hunt group, as you can see, all the phones ring at once. When we answer the call on one phone and we place another call into the hunt group, the other phones ring and we can answer the call from one of them. The next feature we will demo is the auto attendant feature. The auto attendant feature allows us to create an IVR to easily direct callers to the appropriate destination. As before, we go to the services section to configure the service. In the call service, we click on the features. In the call service features, we already have the auto attendant feature configured. So let's click on the 3 dots and then click on edit to see how we have it configured. In the auto attendant feature, we have several options. The incoming call section is similar to other features we have seen. The auto attendant feature does, however, have a direct inward dial number assigned. We can also set up any custom call forwarding options. The schedule option is where we can set up our business hours schedule, so we can play a different announcement and have a different menu option for callers based on our business hours. We can also set up a holiday schedule that will override the business hours schedule on company designated holidays. The language option is where we assign a language to the feature. The menu option is where we create the menu options for the callers for both our business hours schedule and our after hours schedule. We have many options for routing the caller into the system. The greetings option is where we can either configure the auto attendant to use a default greeting, or we can record a custom greeting. We can do this for both the business hours schedule and the after hours schedule. And finally, we have the reports option where we can run reports on the auto attendant. Now that we have the auto attendant feature configured, let's see how it works. We have 3 phones set up with call queue and hunt group features to show you how the auto attendant can route calls to these features. First, we place a call into the direct inward dial number of the auto attendant and hear the custom greeting we have created.
Thank you for calling Acme Anvil Company. To reach our sales department, please press 1. To reach our support department, please press 2.
We will choose option 1, which will send us to the HQ sales queue.
Your call is very important to us. Please wait for the next available agent.
Next, we will choose option 2, and you can see we're directed to the HQ support hunt group.
Thank you for calling Acme Anvil Company. To reach our sales department, please press 1. To reach our support department, please press 2.
The next feature we will demo is the paging group feature. paging group feature allows us to send audio pages to select groups of phones. As before, we go to the Services section to configure the service. In the Call service, we click on Features. In Call Service Features, we already have the Page Group feature configured, so let's click on the three dots and then click on Edit to see how it is configured. In the Paging Group feature, we have several options. The phone number option is to assign a direct inward dial DID number to the paging group. Then we can assign the paging group a name and extension. The other two options allow us to assign what phones will be the paging targets, the phones that will play the message, and the paging originators, the phones that are allowed to create the audio page. Now that we have the paging group feature configured, let's see how it works. We have 3 phones set up with the paging group feature. The phone on the right is the paging originator, and the other 2 phones are the paging targets. First, on the paging originator, we press the new call soft key. Then we enter the paging group extension. In this case, it is 1100. The paging targets will go off hook and play an announcement to indicate there is a page coming.
Paging.
When the system is ready, the page originator will get a message indicating the system is ready to page.
Paging system ready.
At this point, the originator can make the audio page.
This is the test page.
When the page is complete, the paging originator simply hangs up or presses End Call. The next feature we will demo is the Receptionist Client feature. The Receptionist Client feature is a browser-based application that allows a receptionist or operator to manage and distribute calls into the system. The client also allows the operator to see the status of users' phones. To configure a user as a receptionist, we click on the gear icon in the call card on the Overview page. This will launch the Cisco Admin portal. In the Cisco Admin portal, we click on the Advanced Services link on the left, then the Productivity Services tab. We then click on the Receptionist option. A list of the users is presented, and we assign the users we want to have access to the Receptionist client. When we go back to Control Hub, we can click on the Services option on the left, then the Features option in the Call Service card. We can now see the Receptionist Client service. Now that we have the Receptionist Client feature configured, let's see how it works. To launch the Receptionist Client for the first time, the end user can log in to the end user portal and click on the Webex Calling link. Once the end user portal loads, they would click the My Apps link and the Receptionist link. This will launch a new browser window for the Receptionist client. Once the end user has the link in the browser for the Receptionist client, they can bookmark it in their browser for future use. The user will now click on the Sign In with Cisco link on the right-hand side to access the Receptionist client. Now that we have the client loaded, we can place a call into the Receptionist queue. We see the call in the Receptionist queue in the lower left corner, and we also see the call in the call console display in the upper left corner. We also see the call in the Webex Calling app we are using as the phone for this demo. The receptionist can answer the call from either the Receptionist client, the PC app, or the physical phone. In this case, we are going to answer the call from the Receptionist client. Once the call is answered, we can see the receptionist can then place the call on hold, park the call, end the call, or they can drag and drop the call onto the user to transfer the call to them. The receptionist can even transfer the call directly to a user's voicemail if they are busy on the phone. When the call is transferred to the user, we can see the user's status icon change from green, meaning the phone is idle, to yellow, meaning the phone is ringing, to red, indicating the user is on the phone. The next feature we will demo is the line sharing feature. The line sharing feature allows the user to share their line with other users in the system or other devices owned by the user. To configure the user's line sharing, first click on the User section in the left panel. Then click on the user we want to configure. In the right flyout panel, click on the Webex Calling Enterprise link, then the Edit link. This will launch a new browser tab and connect us to the Cisco Admin Portal End User Configuration page. In the User Configuration page, click on the Sharing link in the left panel. This will present the sharing options and devices the user's line is currently shared with and any devices capable of being shared to. Simply click the checkbox beside the device to share or unshare the line to the device. Now that we have seen how to configure line sharing, let's see how it works. We have a physical phone and a PC application configured with line sharing for this user. When we place a call to the extension or DID number of the user, both the physical phone and the PC app ring. The user can answer the call from either device. We have answered the call on the PC app, but notice the physical phone shows the call active on its extension as well. If we want to pull the call back to the physical phone, all we have to do is press the Call Pull soft key. When the call is on the physical phone and we want to pull the call over to the PC app, we simply enter *11 and then click the dial icon. The call is automatically connected to the PC app and disconnected from the physical phone. We've already seen how the PC app can be used as a standalone device or in combination with a physical phone. Now let's see how the mobile app can be used the same way. We configure the mobile app for users the same way we configure the PC app for line sharing. We click on the User section in the left panel, then click on the user we want to configure. In the right flyout panel, click on the Webex Calling Enterprise link, then the Edit link. This will launch a new browser tab and connect us to the Cisco Admin Portal End User Configuration page. In the End User Configuration page, click on the Mobile and PC Application link and verify the mobile app is enabled. Next, click on the Sharing link in the left panel. This will present the sharing options and devices the user's line is currently shared with, and any devices capable of being shared to. In this demo, we make sure the mobile app device is shared. Now that we have seen how to configure the mobile app, let's see how it works. We've already downloaded and logged into the mobile app for iOS on the iPhone. We place the call to the extension or DID of the user with the mobile device. Notice both devices ring and the call can be answered from either device. For this demo, we will answer the call on the mobile device. On the mobile device, we can place the call on hold and take the call off hold. We can mute the call just like from the physical phone. Notice that just like the PC app, the call stays active on the physical phone. If we want to pull the call back to the physical phone, all we have to do is press the Call Pull soft key. The call is automatically connected to the physical phone and disconnected from the mobile device. In the Webex calling environment, the traditional single number reach feature is referred to as Office Anywhere, so we will be referring to it as Office Anywhere in this demo. The Office Anywhere feature allows the user to send incoming calls to their extension or DID number to another phone number. The number could be a home phone, a cell phone, or another Webex calling number. To configure Office Anywhere, the user logs into the End User Self-Care portal and clicks on Webex Calling. Once the End User portal loads, we click on Call Settings, then click on the slider beside Office Anywhere to enable it. Next, we click on Add Another Location link to add a number for the Office Anywhere feature. We then enter the name and the phone number to send the call to. We can click on the More Options link to show more options like the Do Not Forward Calls option, the Answer Confirmation option. With this option, the call recipient will be prompted to press any key before being connected. This is useful to let the recipient know the call wasn't coming directly to their line. And the Call Control option enables the user access to the system call control features such as Call Hold and Call Forward via feature access codes. We will set up Office Anywhere to call our cell phone for this demo. We enter a name and then our cell phone. We also select the Call Control option and click Save. Now that we have the Office Anywhere feature set up, let's see how it works. We place a call to the extension or DID number of the configured user. As you can see, the physical phone rings and momentarily the cell phone will also ring. Notice the cell phone is ringing on the normal cellular number and not an installed application. When we answer the call on the cell phone, notice the call remains active on the physical phone. If I press the Call Pull Soft key, the call is automatically connected to the physical phone and disconnected from the cell phone. Now we will take a look at the Push-to-Talk feature. Push-to-Talk feature allows users to communicate with each other without having to answer the phone. This is typically used for manager assistant type configurations. The Push-to-Talk feature is configured by going to the Users section and clicking on the user you want to configure Push-to-Talk for. Next, we will click the Webex Calling Enterprise link in the right panel flyout, then click the Edit link. This will launch a new browser tab and connect us to the Cisco Admin Portal. The Admin Portal will present the end user's configuration page. In the end user's configuration page, we will click on the Push-to-Talk link under Advanced. To enable the Push-to-Talk feature, we click the slider beside the Push-to-Talk label. In the Push-to-Talk configuration, we can choose if we want to enable one-way or two-way Push-to-Talk. Push-to-Talk can be configured based on whom we want to allow access to the user's phone or whom we want to block access. Lastly, we can choose the users for whom we are going to allow or block access. In our demo, we are configured to allow a list of select users, so they are the only users able to use the feature for this configured user. Now that we have seen how the Push-to-Talk feature is configured, let's see how it works. We have two phones set up with the Push-to-Talk feature. The phone on the left will be the originator. The phone on the right will be the recipient. On the originator's phone, we will press the new Call Soft key, then dial *50. The system will provide us a stutter dial tone when it is ready to receive the extension we want to call. We enter 1079 # and the recipient's phone automatically goes off hook, and the originator's phone receives a beep to indicate the system is ready for the user to speak. Now we will take a look at the monitoring feature. The monitoring feature allows users to monitor the state of other users' lines from their phone. This is commonly known as busy lamp field. The monitoring feature is configured by going to the Users section and clicking on the user you want to configure monitoring for. Next, we will click the Webex Calling Enterprise link in the right panel flyout, then click the Edit link. This will launch a new browser tab and connect us to the Cisco Admin Portal. The Admin Portal will present us with the End User Configuration page. In the End User Configuration page, we will click on the Monitoring link under Advanced. In this section, we can set up the monitoring features and choose which user's lines the configured user can monitor. Once we have the configuration set, we click Save. Now that we see how the feature is configured, let's see how it works. Before we configure the user for monitoring, their phone will look like this. They only have their extension on the phone. Once we configure monitoring, it will have the other user's lines on their phone with a different icon to indicate it is a monitoring line only. When a monitored user's phone is idle, the icon beside their name is green. When the phone becomes active, the icon will change to red and indicate if the line is in use, busy, or is alerting, ringing. When the user ends the call, the icon will turn to green, indicating the phone is idle. The monitor buttons on the phone can also be used as speed dials to the indicated users.